Ahoy hoy, I'm Planetwalk, and recently I was informed that DITRH has offered a $9 million challenge, one which I actually completed a few years ago. Now I'm going to have to give a bit of context here because I'm guessing that most people haven't heard about this challenge. It all starts with a comment from TJ Jones. He says, FE map reward now at $9,305,003. The impossible challenge that frustrates flatties. Dearth responds with, accurate globe earth map reward $9,305,004. Now one thing that I have to point out is that DITRH, or as I like to call him, Dearth, has literally tried to one-up TJ Jones by making his reward $1 more than TJ Jones's reward. I just find that funny for some reason. Now, Dearth didn't offer any clarifications on what has to be done, so people could just hold up a globe and say, hey look, this is an accurate globe earth map, give me $9 million, Dearth. But I get the feeling that he's not going to accept that. I, on the other hand, like to be a little more sophisticated than using a random company's hard work and passing it off as my own. Instead, I like to use a random company and MCToon's hard work and pass it off as my own. Just to clarify, I did put in a lot of hard work. I destroyed my kneecaps because of this. Well, not literally. I still have knees. I don't have the cybernetic ones that Simon Dan has. Yet. Now, the question that some people are probably wondering right now is, how did I manage to complete Dearth's challenge over 2 years ago despite only finding out about it a couple of days ago? Did I travel back in time? Am I a Time Lord? Well, NASA doesn't let me use the time machine because apparently there's some risk of me going back a year to kill Heath. I don't know what that's about. So no. Now the way that I've managed to complete this challenge has actually been in my videos for a very long time. It's right here. Not that. It's right here. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, these here are operational navigational charts, and they used to be used for flying before they used electronic methods. And so these have to be accurate, because if they're not accurate, then, well, you're going to get planes going in wonky directions, aren't you? Now, I'm not the only person to realize that these have to be accurate. There was another flat earther that realized that, and he offered $100,000 to anyone that could show a triangle with 3 90-degree angles using flight charts. Now when he offered that challenge, the first thing that I did is I went onto SkyVector to try and find 3 cities that could fulfill the conditions. And then I went back to studying because I had an assignment due within a couple of weeks and I couldn't do much. But MCToon could. Now MCToon made a couple of videos, which everybody agreed fulfilled the conditions. Well, everybody except for Flat Out Hero, that is. And then Wolfie 6020 came along and made a few videos that everyone agreed fulfilled the conditions. Well, everyone except for Flat Out Hero again. Now with Flat Out Hero completely ignoring the fact that his challenge had been met, I set out to provide supporting evidence for MCToon by stitching a whole lot of these together to show that if you stick a whole lot of these together, it forms a globe. Now I did run into a fair share of issues because paper, when you stick it together, doesn't like to form shapes that well when it has a large surface area. It tends to just crumple. But I at least demonstrated the concept. So the first thing that I did is I laid them all out flat, and right off the bat you can see that there's a huge problem for the flat earth when half of Africa just doesn't line up correctly like it should if the earth were flat. So I then went to stick all the bits of Africa together, as well as other bits of the world, and lying on the ground, it didn't like that all that much. But when I curved it, everything started looking so much smoother. All of this would only be possible if the earth is a globe. Thus, the map that I produced there is an accurate map of the globe. Well, part of the globe, but Dearth didn't specify that it had to be the entire globe. That's why it's important to specify things. So I'm pretty sure that I've completed Dearth's challenge to an acceptable standard, even though I did it over 2 years ago. And because of this, Dearth, you don't have to give me the full $9 million. Just $1 or $2 million would be nice. Although I get the feeling that you don't have that kind of money. So here's an idea. Maybe gather up all your flat earth friends and see what money you can put together. I know that you'll be able to put together at least $20,000. That's the going rate of a ring laser gyroscope. And then we'll go from there. We'll negotiate a bit. How does that sound? Unless, of course, you don't think that I've completed the challenge. Maybe you want to specify a bit more about the challenge. In which case, it's going to be fun, because there's actually more than one way to complete this challenge. Sure, sticking a whole lot of these together, that's one way to complete the challenge, but there are other ways, especially when there's barely any specification in it. Oh, and let me be clear, if you're going to say that my entry isn't valid, you're going to have to specify why. You can't just say, oh, your entry is invalid because I say so. You're going to have to explain exactly why my entry is not valid, and then I will be able to correct whatever mistakes that I may have made. Which could be fun. On an extra clarification, if there's something else that I have to do to complete this challenge, then maybe I'd like the full $9 million. So because I want to have fun, and I'm sure everyone else wants to have fun, please share this video and make sure Dearth sees it, because if he sees it, then we can have some fun with this. And because I doubt that Dearth is ever going to pay up, I do have a Patreon that can support me on. There will be a link in the description. And there are some people great people that support me, like What Jesus, Hugh Jarsz, M.C.Nutkin, Jane Spade, Wolfie, Morrie, Graymore Ghost, KidVicious, and Sacha Campbell. But there's also something else that I want to mention before we end this video. So there is a $9.3 million challenge out there if you are able to produce an accurate flat earth map. There are more conditions, and if you are interested in that, I'll leave a link to it. So I will warn any flat earther that attempts to make an accurate flat earth map. The last flat earther that attempted this, I know that they gave up, and I think they may have stopped being a flat earther. I'm not too certain on that, but just a fair bit of warning to any flat earther that does attempt to complete this challenge. But don't let that dissuade you. I'm sure that flat earthers, regardless of how they may act, would probably want to find out the truth about the shape of the earth, right? Now you may question the legitimacy of this challenge. I mean, who has $9.3 million to give away to someone who completes this challenge, right? However, it's not just one person. There are multiple people that have said that they will give money to whoever manages to complete this challenge. And sure, some of them may be saying, well, I know that no one's ever going to complete this challenge, so I'm just going to give an absurdly high amount to the person that completes this challenge, but no one's ever going to complete it, so I'll never have to pay out. However, there is one thing that I can be certain of. I am actually willing to give $1,000 to the person that manages to create an accurate flat earth map as defined by the rules in TJ Jones's challenge. I'm not joking about that. I do have $1,000, but I don't think that anybody is going to complete the challenge. So why not try and prove me wrong? If you are successful, you'll get at least $1,000, but I don't think you're going to be able to do that. I have managed to create an accurate globe earth map. I don't think that you can do an accurate flat earth map. But what do I know? I'm just a NASA shill with no legs, right? But anyway, leave a like and subscribe if you like that video. Leave a comment letting me know if you think that I completed Dearth's challenge. I will see you in the next video. Between you and me, thank you for watching.